let's see if we can throw some light on the circle of fifths. What is the circle of fifths? Well, it's a way of recognizing and understanding the correct key signature for different keys. What do I mean by key signature? Well, here's a scale of C major. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. That's the correct tonality for a major scale. Now you'll see I've numbered them as well. These are what we call the degrees of the scale. And always between them, in a major scale, between 1 and 2, there should be a tone. Between 2 and 3, there should also be a tone. Then between 3 and 4, there needs to be a semitone. And then between 4 and 5, there needs to be a tone again. Tone. And then between 5 and 6, another tone. Tone. Then between 6 and 7, once again a tone. And then finally between 7 and 8, a semitone. So it always has that tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone structure. Now you see in C major, the relationship between all the notes is exactly that. So there are no accidentals, no sharps or flats required in the scale. Let's look at G major, however. Okay, there's something wrong there. It doesn't sound quite right. Okay, it's that 7th degree of the scale. If we do what we did here with this scale here, we have tone, then we have tone, then once again we have semitone, so it's all good so far. Then we have tone, then we have tone, and then we're looking for a tone here, and we don't have a tone here. We have a semitone and we have a tone here, so we have to flip these around. And to do that, all we have to do is take the F and put a sharp in front of it like that. Okay, so now it sounds correct. It's got the right relationship now because we have a semitone here and a tone here, as opposed to originally we had it the other way around. That means that the key signature of this scale, which is G major, G to G, is 1 sharp. And the sharp that we need to make it G major is F sharp. And we always put that F sharp on the top line of the treble stave. So if we look now at a circle of fifths, we put 12 o'clock we put C major because it has no sharps or flats. Then what we do, as we move clockwise in this direction, each time we go up a step we add a sharp. So at 1 o'clock, here's my 1 o'clock position, we have G. Now this is why it's called the circle of fifths, because G is 5 steps above C. So if I go C, count that as 1, and then go 2, 3, 4, 5, I get to the note G. Okay, then we go to 2 o'clock position, and 5 steps above G, G is 1, A, B, C, D, okay, is D. So 5 steps above G is D. Now in the 1 o'clock position, we know it has 1 sharp, which is F sharp. Okay, and the 2 o'clock position, there are 2 sharps. F sharp again, but this time we need to add another one, which is C sharp. Okay. Now, interestingly, F to C is how many steps? 5. Okay, so F to C, F, G, A, B, C is 5 steps. When we're writing that on a scale, or on a stave, we need to make sure that we're writing F sharp up here and C sharp here in this space here. All right, now that there you can see actually that's the notes D to D, and by putting in F sharp and C sharp that gives us the right relationship of those notes. I'll just play them to you. F sharp, C sharp, D. So that gives us D major. So we've proved there that D major has 2 sharps. Perfect. So we're all going well so far. That's great. Oh, don't rub out those F and the C. Okay, that's always the order of sharps, by the way. When we go anti-clockwise, however, we're adding flats. So 5 steps below C, as we've already discovered, is F. Okay, so F major has 1 flat. Okay, flats in this situation are always in the order of B flat followed by E flat. Okay, so if I go back to the scale here, we need an F major scale, which I've forgotten to draw out. Here we go. F major, let's just draw an F major scale. Here we go. So we just take the notes F to F. So F, G, A, B, C, D, E, and finally F again. So this time what we need is F to G, which is a tone, that's fine. Then G to A, which is a tone, which is fine, remembering it's tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Then we want A to B, Oh, that's wrong, okay? A to B natural is a full tone, so to make that a semitone, we make it flat. So we just drop that by one semitone. Then C to D needs to be a tone, which it is. Then here we've got a tone, and then E to F, D to E, sorry, is a tone there, and then E to F is a semitone. So F major just requires one flat, B flat. Okay, and that gives us F major. So as we've proved there, F major requires one flat, which is a B flat. Now the flats always go in the order of B and E. Now because we're going anti-clockwise as well, 5 steps below F is not B but B flat. Okay, we have to remember that we start adding flats the more we go anti-clockwise. B flat has 2 flats, and the 2 flats are B flat and E flat. Okay, so they always go in that order: F followed by C for sharps, B followed by E for flats. So if I were to go back to my scale and draw a scale of B flat major, which I'll do this time very quickly. So B flat is down here. That's B, C, D, E, F, A, G, B flat. Okay, now that at the moment without any flats sounds very weird. Doesn't sound like a major scale because it doesn't have all those relationships. We need to put in the flats, remembering that B flat major has 2 flats. The first one is B, the second one is E flat. Okay, so now it sounds like this. Which is correct because the key signature has put in the correct relationships between the notes. Now, while that's all very well and good, on the outside we have all the major scales. On the inside we have what's called the relative minors, and that's because every key signature has 2 possible keys. So on the outside we have the major keys, and then on the inside we have the minor keys. So C major had no sharps or flats. If we go 2 steps below C, so C, B, A, we get to A, and A minor is the relative minor of C major in that it doesn't have any sharps or flats. So here's a scale of A with no sharps and flats. We have A minor, what's called A natural minor, just going up and down. So that doesn't require anything in it to make it sound like A minor. That is A minor with no sharps or flats. Okay. If we go to G, then the relative minor 2 steps below G is E. So we just go G, 1 step below it is F, then 2 steps below it is E. So that means that E minor has the same key signature. Remember, G has 1 sharp, which is F. Okay, because it's always F sharp is always first. So if I go to G minor, have I got G minor prepared? No, I don't. Okay, let's just do a quick G minor so we can see this happening. Not G minor, sorry, E minor. So I'll just draw the notes from E to E. So E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. Now at the moment, doesn't sound right, but we know that the key signature of E minor is the same as G major, which is 1 sharp. So whenever I see an F, I have to sharpen it. Which is correct. So that's E natural minor with 1 sharp on it, and so on and so forth. So E minor, relative minors, E minor is a relative minor of G. D, remember, has 2 sharps, which are F sharp and C sharp. And the relative minor of that is 2 steps below D, D, C, B. Okay, so B minor is the relative minor of D major, so it shares the key signature. If we go to the flats, again, we can go 2 steps below F, F, E, D. So D must be the relative minor of F minor, which remember has 1 flat. Okay, then we go to B flat, 2 steps below B flat is G. So G is the relative minor of B flat major. So again, if we can try and prove this, just find my D major. Here's D, the D scale here, D to D. Doesn't sound like a natural minor to me because we haven't put in the key signature. Remember that the key signature is 1 flat, so it shares the key signature with F major. So if we put in 1 flat there, and I don't mess up playing it, we have D natural minor, because D is the relative minor of F major. Then G minor would have 2 flats in it, which would be B flat and E flat, in exactly the same way that B flat major has B flat and E flat in it, because these are relative minors. I hope that's helped to explain the circle of fifths, and that we now understand it a little bit more.